return. And what I found is that most companies and schools follow a formula for success, which is this: if I work harder, I'll be more successful. And if I'm more successful, then I'll be happier. That undergirds most of our parenting styles, our managing styles, the way that we motivate our behavior, and the problem is it's scientifically broken and backwards for two reasons. First, every time your brain has a success, you just change the goalpost of what success looked like. You got good grades, now you have to get better grades. You got into a good school, now you have to get a better school. You got a good job, now you have to get a better job. You hit your sales target, we're going to change your sales target. And if happiness is on the opposite side of success, your brain never gets there. What we've done is we've pushed happiness over the cognitive horizon as a society. And that's because we think we have to be successful, then we'll be happier. The real problem is our brains work in the opposite order. If you can raise somebody's level of positivity in the present, then their brain experiences what we now call a happiness advantage, which is your brain in positive performs significantly better than it does negative, neutral, or stressed. Your intelligence rises, your creativity rises, your energy levels rise. In fact, what we found is that every single business outcome improves. Your brain at positive is 31% more productive than your brain at negative, neutral, or stress. You're 37% better at sales. Doctors are 19% faster, more accurate at coming up with the correct diagnosis when positive instead of negative, neutral, or stress, which means we can reverse the formula. If we can find a way of becoming positive in the present, then our brains work even more successfully, as we're able to work harder, faster, and more intelligently. What we need to be able to do is reverse this formula so we can start to see what our brains are actually capable of. Because dopamine, which floods into your system when you're positive, has two functions. Not only does it make you happier, it turns on all the learning centers in your brain, allowing you to adapt to the world in a different way. We found that there are ways you can train your brain to be able to become more positive. In just a 2-minute span of time, done for 21 days in a row, we can actually rewire your brain, allowing your brain to actually work more optimistically and more successfully. We've done these things in research now in every single company that I work with, getting them to write down 3 new things that they're grateful for 21 days in a row, 3 new things each day, and at the end of it, their brain starts to retain a pattern of scanning the world not for the negatives, but for the positive first. Journaling about one positive experience you've had over the past 24 hours allows your brain to relive it. Exercise teaches your brain that your behavior matters. We find that meditation allows your brain to get over the cultural ADHD that we've been creating by trying to do multiple tasks at once. It allows our brains to focus on the task at hand. And finally, random acts of kindness or conscious acts of kindness. We get people, when they open up their inbox, to write one positive email praising or thanking somebody in their social support network. And by doing these activities and by training your brain just like we train our bodies, what we found is we can reverse the formula for happiness and success, and in doing so, not only create ripples of positivity, but create a real revolution. Thank you very much.
All right. That dude is funny. He is real funny. So, how does this relate to organizational culture, right? He's talking about happiness and improving the happiness of people, right? But apply this to an organization, right? Happiness of the workers, right? So if we can improve the happiness of workers, right, in the job and also away from the job, right, then they'll be happier, they'll be healthier, and then they'll be more productive. Right? And then our organization will make more money. And organizations spend a lot of money to pay people like him to come to their organizations and figure out how to be more productive, how to motivate their employees. What can we do within our organization, which is a type of environment, right? What can we do within our environment to stimulate happiness? To get people to focus more on the present and what's happening now than the future. So, I mean, we changed our, and I've said this before, we've changed our strategy as far as marketing. As far as the old system, right, our old view was the customer, the customer, the customer, right? We do everything for the customer. And if we do all these things for the customer, then the customer is going to be happy, and then he or she is going to come back and spend more money. Well, the new idea is that, well, if we have happy employees, right, they'll provide a better service. If we're providing a service, they'll make a better product, depending on what product it is, and then our customers will be happy, and then they'll come back. And we've seen that with that model, companies actually are more productive. Because if they focus on the employees, right, then the employees are the ones that's making the products, and they're also the ones that are interacting with the customers on a regular basis, right? It's not the bosses, Right? No, it's the regular employees. So if we have happy, strong employees, then they're going to interact with with the customers, and then the customers are going to be happy, and then they're going to come back and spend more money. And we've seen that companies are actually better, have a better share of the market when they use this model. Okay? So that's one of the things, right? The secret to better work, right? Changing, instead of focusing on, okay, if I get this, then I'll be happy, focus on first getting happy, right? We always say, oh shit, when I turn 21, I'll be so happy. Oh, when I get 25, I'll be so happy because I can do this, right? Well, and when I get this job, when I do this, well, what we do is once we attain that, then we just move our goals out to something else, right? So we never really reach that happiness, right? Yes, I'll be so happy when I graduate grad school. I did that. Oh shit, now I gotta find a job. I'll be so happy when I found a job. Man, I found a job. Man, I'll be so happy when I could buy this house, right? And then you just keep moving your happiness back. So instead of focusing on the things to make you happy, focus on making yourself happy. The things aren't gonna make you happy. They're really not. Right? I mean, a little bit eventually, when I got my job and I bought a nice new car, I was so happy for like the first month, and now it's just a damn car that I have to pay for, and it's really expensive when it needs to get fixed, so I'm not too happy about that. Right? But anyway, right? Happiness kind of fades. Things make you happy maybe short term, but long term, it's you that make you happy over time. Right? So if you can change the way you think, right? Reprogram your mind to stop saying, when this happens, I will be happy. And then just focus on finding something that makes you happy now. Does that make sense? And then, again, as this applies to organizations know this, right? Our military, who was probably the biggest employer of organizational psychologists and use a lot of the concepts and the theories, right? They know this. They know these things, and that's how they get their employees, right? The soldiers enlisted, that's how they get them motivated. Okay, so let's watch this other video. This one here, it's a short little video. It's Sir Richard Branson, and he is the CEO of Virgin Entertainment. Right? He started out as Virgin Records, and then he went from Virgin Records, and then he started Virgin Airlines, and then from there, now he's like going into space exploration, right? Buying rockets and going to charge people millions of dollars to take a ride up into space, right? So he's going to talk about creating a winning culture, right? We talked about creating a good, positive, strong culture in an organization. Well, how do we do that? Well, let's ask somebody who's successful at doing it and see what they did in order to make it. So, where was that?
Ladies and gentlemen, please.
Yeah, man, I can't get.
Richard Branson.
That is messed up. I can't turn it up anymore. Why is the sound so bad in here? There's.
Welcome. We have so been looking forward to your visit. This is the first time for us to
You can't even hear a word they're saying, so I'm not even going to play this. It's not even worth it. I don't think we can hear anything. Let me try to see if there's a way I can turn up the volume. Turn this on. Okay, give me a couple minutes and see if there's a way I can turn up the volume. You know what? I'll just skip it for now. We'll come back to this. Yeah, but did I show Vader. I'm not gonna be able to. No. Let's see. Oh, this one sounds good. You can hear this one. Just some you can't hear, some you can.
Have you ever talked with a friend about a problem? Oh,
It's weird. It's really weird. Huh. Alright, well, there's nothing we can do, I guess. There's no use showing a video that we can't hear and you can barely read. So we'll skip that. Maybe on your own time, if you get a chance to watch it, go ahead. It's a quick video. It's only like 4.5 minutes long. And he just talks about, one of the main things he talks about, is why I wanted to show the video, is that he talks about creating a winning culture. What he does is surround himself with good people. That's what he says, right? He's smart, right? He's a pretty smart guy, but he owns an airline. He doesn't know how to fly a plane. He knows nothing about running, running an airline. So what did he do? He hired a guy to run the airline for him, right? Who was an airline pilot, right? Or he was a machinist, I think. But anyway, he knew airplanes and he knew the business. So he had that guy run that business for him, right? What he does is he selects good people to do the work. Right? He creates a quality organization, a good